EVO 2024 was this past weekend, and it gave fighting game fans a lot to get excited about. We saw Titans solidify their grip on a new game, old demons were exorcised, and legends from the past came back to show off for the cameras. In other words, it was awesome. So what did we learn? EVO is the world's biggest open fighting game tournament, but it's also now part competitive event, part convention. Part of what makes this EVO so exciting is that fighting games seem to be flourishing at a time when the greater esports business landscape is going through a bit of a hard time. More esports orgs are starting to take notice too. For example, last year, FlyQuest signed a roster of fighting game players. And now, at this EVO, 2 of those players have won the tournaments for their games. On top of that, we got some truly incredible sets that showed us just how deep the competition has become. So let's start with Tekken. Tekken is going through a moment right now. And listen, I'm not saying that the game balance is perfect. Dragunov definitely needs to be nerfed, but this game is popular. And the tournament at this EVO was the biggest Tekken tournament ever, with over 4,600 people signing up to compete. Compare that to when me won Tekken Tag Tournament 2 over a decade ago, and there were only 355 people signed up. Even when Tekken 7 released, it wasn't instantly popular. At its inaugural EVO in 2015, they only had about 458 entrants, and they added only about another 100 the next year. But Tekken 7 did eventually sprout some wings and fly. Part of that was the establishment of the Tekken World Tour, for sure, but it was also these incredible storylines that emerged from within the game itself. But Tekken 8's release was anything but smooth for pro players, who now had to adapt to this game's focus on aggression over evasion. Enter Arslan Ash, the man who is undoubtedly the best Tekken 7 player and whose evasive style changed the way the game was played, but who struggled when Tekken 8 was released. However, after placing 3rd at Boss Gauntlet and then 2nd at Combo Breaker, Arslan was finally able to break through and win a Tier 1 event when he took OTB, a Tekken World Tour event, about a month ago.
2, use the down back 1+2. Underneath the jab. What's the V? And the counter hit! Arslan Ash is your only the best 6 champion.
Arslan had been very consistent in Tekken 7, especially in the game's final year, where he achieved the triple crown by winning both EVOs and the Tekken World Tour. We wanted to see that consistency in this new game, and Arslan called the shot earlier this year. He believed in his ability to adapt and to win EVO. And against a field of killers, Arslan actually did it. He won his 5th EVO title and unquestionably bridged this gap between Tekken 7 and Tekken 8.
Arslan looking to win another title! Oh, oh my God, he's got to use the Ranger! He's got to use it! He doesn't, he can't deal with it! No, he got the block! Arslan Ash! EVO champion!
I think one key to Arslan's victory was his character pick of Nina. Now, Nina is an old favorite for Arslan, but he wasn't really playing her very much during his heyday in Tekken 7. He seemed especially comfortable playing her against Dragunov, who was absolutely everywhere in this tournament, including the grand finals. Now, from a regional perspective, it was Arslan versus Atif, Pakistan versus Pakistan, in the grand final. Nobi, a 33-year-old Japanese player who actually won that inaugural Tekken 7 tournament in 2015, placed 3rd. Ulsan and South Korea had to settle for 4th, and we even saw Saudi Arabia's Raeth in the top 6. We also got the announcement of Heihachi Mishima as an upcoming DLC character, which for me, I'm gonna be honest, it's pretty meh. I thought he was supposed to be dead. Alright, that's all the time I can devote to Tekken here. Let's get into Street Fighter. We finally got that redemption moment for Punk, who no longer has to be haunted by his 2017 finish against Tokido. Like Arslan, Punk was riding a wave of recent success, having just won CEO 2024. But despite being one of the game's best players for some time, Punk had never won an EVO title for Street Fighter. Sticking with his signature Kami and heading into the bracket on winner's side, Punk was soon swept away by Big Bird and the bracket was reset. But in the final round of this reset match, Punk closed it out.
That could be an EVO losing anti-air. Just like that, Punk. One more hit will do it. Big Bird gets hit low, and there it is. Punk gets his retribution, his revenge. He is your Street Fighter 6 EVO champion.
It's really awesome to see a reaction like this, and you can tell that this moment meant a lot to Punk. Punk has changed a lot since 2017 as a player, and one of the great things about EVO is that we're able to keep stock of these kinds of things. Punk also makes history for the United States, who haven't been champions at a mainline Street Fighter title during the modern era of EVO, when competitors from all over the world were consistently traveling to it. We also got to see 17-year-old British phenom Ending Walker place third. He had a great tournament and was both sent to the losers bracket and eliminated by Big Bird. Street Fighter 6 also announced the impending addition of Terry Bogard, and people still seem pretty hyped, even though it had leaked beforehand. EVO also paid homage this year to the 25th anniversary of the release of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike by holding a tournament for it. As I'm sure many of you are aware, this is the game that gave us EVO Moment 37 or the Daigo parry, so it's part of EVO's DNA in a lot of ways. MOV won the tournament playing both Elena and his signature Chun-Li. But the crowd favorite for this tournament was undoubtedly Hayao, whose bombastic Hugo play gave us these golden moments both in the match and on the stage.
Oh my god, no! Okay. Oh my god! How did he do that?
He went past the SA3! He went for the roundhouse! He jumped over completely!
I've followed Third Strike for a while, and a lot of the footage you get is just the in-game footage. There's no player cams, it's just a series of highlights or even a single highlight. So to see legends like MOV and Hayao on the stage, it was something really special. Overall, Issei took second place and Chairithi took third. I actually met Chairithi a long time ago at a local, long before I had ever thought about doing this as a job. So it was pretty cool to see him up there on stage. On top of those tournaments, we had official tournaments for Grand Blue Fantasy Rising Versus, Guilty Gear Strive, King of Fighters 15, and Undernight Inbirth 2. There were some great sets here too, and it's absolutely worth checking out. I've been playing a little bit of Grand Blue casually, and it's been pretty fun, so it's always great to see how the pros play and what exactly they like to do. There's one more EVO tournament that I need to talk about, and that was the tournament for Mortal Kombat 1. Now, this was supposed to be one of the bigger tournaments, but it attracted only 642 entrants. First, let's be clear about something, okay? Mortal Kombat is doing extremely well from a sales point of view. Even recent data supports that, while the game's casual modes seem to be well loved by those same fans. But this was MK1's first year at EVO, and as a competitive game, it just wasn't a huge success. Contrast the attendance this year against 2019, where MK11's tournament had about 2.5 times the entrants. Character diversity in this game has been kind of poor from what I've seen, and whatever you think of the cameo system that was added in this game, it also seems to suffer from that same problem where there's a handful of them that get used. I don't say this stuff to hate on MK. I have fond memories of playing MK2 in the arcade, but I do think this is a big missed opportunity for a game at a time when people seem to be more interested in fighting games than ever. The good news for MK fans is that the developers seemingly do feel like there is an issue, and there's a patch that just released with a ton of balance changes that seem primarily aimed at making way more characters viable. Now to the tournament itself. We got to see Sonic Fox prove, yet again, that they are one of the greatest Mortal Kombat players of all time, and one of the greatest to ever touch fighting games as a genre.
Last breath is active. Fox can absorb 2 more hits. Oh, Block is quickly jumping. Is this it? Sonic Fox It's going to take Evolution once more and be one of the greatest Mortal Kombat players of all time.
It was overall very hard to pick my favorite moment from this tournament, and it's probably one of my favorite EVOs ever. So what about you guys? Was there a game that you kept up with during the tournament that you really enjoyed? Or are there any games that you plan to go back and watch the VODs for now that the tournament is over? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring the notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit up our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.